What's going on, Skid? I'm on call this weekend. It's Saturday. One of these units keeps tripping the breaker upstairs in the apartment. The main breaker in the apartment keeps tripping. Now since it's Saturday, they're usually gonna be home. So it's this one right here. Gotta see which condenser this is going to. Oh, decorative pine straw. Can't stand it. Oh, so that one over there. So this is going to be the culprit. Hopefully it's not a bad compressor. These are heat pumps, so they have crankcase heaters. Hopefully it's just something easy where I just got to disconnect the crankcase heater now to get them through the weekend. Anyway, they're probably going to be home, so I won't be able to film up there, but that's where I'm headed. So that's the air handler. That's the outside. Oh yeah, it's popping immediately. Stayed on that time. Let's see what happens when we turn it on. Well, we turned the breaker back on, and it stayed on until he turned the unit on. So I'm gonna pull the disconnect and turn the breaker back on. If it trips now, then I'll know the issue is between here and the apartment and not here in the unit, because there's no power coming out to the unit. Alright, I think it's gonna be in the condenser. It's not tripping back. Alright, I'm gonna go check out your outside unit, man. Alright, so I just isolated the breaker and turned it back on, and it stayed on. If it's a bad breaker or anything in there like that, after I pull the disconnect, it'll still pop back. It'll still snap if it was a bad breaker. So I think he's gonna have a bad compressor or a bad crankcase heater. We'll split her open and see. Had all week to do this and then wait till Saturday. Feel bad for the resident, you know. A lot of guys ask what I do in this situation. Every shop has a window unit in there, so we'll just put a window unit in. That'll get them through until Monday, or until a compressor gets here anyway. Yeah, so the bottom here is the crankcase heater. This black and red wire on the bottom. All the connections are good. Contactor looks good. I'm going to grab my meter and make sure I don't have power out here, and then I'm going to disconnect the crankcase heater. Power is dead, 1.2 millivolts. So just want to reach under here and pull that red and black wire off underneath here, underneath the contactor. With it being March in Florida, don't really need the crankcase heater for a while till we get our 2-week winter next January. So unhook that one and then do the same on the other side. Alright, there we go. Got the crankcase heater unplugged. Now I'm gonna put the disconnect back in and let's see what's going on here. If that don't do it, I'll disconnect the compressor. Then if the unit stays on, I'll know it's the compressor and he'll need a window unit. Oh yeah. Yep, and just tripped the breaker. I think we got a bad compressor. Sounded rough too. So I'll hook the crankcase heater back up. Ooh, scared me, big dog. Test the capacitor. It's a 35.5 capacitor, and it is 33.4. It's low, but it's not enough to be causing the breaker to trip. But I'll mention that to the tech who works here on Monday when I'm off call. Always call the technicians who work at the property I was on and fill them in. Alright, I got the compressor unhooked. Just unplugged it. The compressor sounded rough anyway whenever I did get it going. See, as you can see, it's staying on now. The fan's going, but no compressor, so that's how I know it's the compressor. Alright, big dog, I got my old Supco M500 mega ohmer out. I'll leave a link to this in the description below if you want to click on it and go get you one, have it delivered to your house. You just put one alligator clip onto the chassis of the condenser and one on the whatever wire you want to test. So this is the common for the compressor. Just one button, boom, tells you that it's bad. And I'll take a picture of this and go show the resident too, so they're not thinking that I'm just some guy trying to dupe them. You know, it's Saturday and, you know, they're probably like, oh, it's just Saturday, he don't want to work. I'm like, no, man, your compressor's really bad. So I'll do the start winding. All right, now I got it on the start winding, the yellow that goes on the herm of the capacitor. Boom, bad. Got a bad compressor. It sounded rough when it started up. I got it to start going for a second there, and it sounded like it had rocks in it. So not good. Here's the run of the compressor, and it's bad. So I'm going to take a picture of this and go show the resident. Not good. All right, an old bad compressor. I'm about to roll a window unit in there for him to get him through the weekend. And this is a sister property that I'm on call for. This is not the property that I work at every day, just a sister property, and so I won't be able to do the compressor and film it. But I will leave a compressor change out video that I did in the past on a Goodman condenser, just like this one. I'll leave that link in the description below if you want to check that out, see what it looks like. And also, if you're interested in the Supco M500, this thing does fan motors, compressors, whatever. It'll tell you if it's good or bad with the press of one button, and I like that. So if you're interested, I will leave a link to one of these in the description below. Oh my gosh, he doesn't use some $1,000 equipment. Oh, I thought he was a professional. Alright, bros, if we're out here on another call. It is Sunday afternoon. And this is a carrier. This is one of our residents who's got a screw loose. She came home from out of town and turned the AC on and wanted to cool her whole apartment down in like 5 minutes, and she says, oh, I need Freon. We'll see. Alright, so the line temp it's bouncing between 56 and 58. The saturation is about 48, so the superheat's good. She don't need no Freon, she just needs to let it run a while. It's not going to cool down in 5 minutes. Call me out on a Sunday afternoon talking about, oh, I got an emergency, it's hot. She didn't even have the Freon on, she just had the fan set to on. I got a little phone call, so I'll go let her know that I just put a little squirt in there and she's going to be good to go.